Hello and welcome to episode 12 of our Timberborn 1.0 experimental ant farm playthrough with the Iron Teeth faction here in cycle 13, day 6, at the start of a 10-day drought cycle. And last episode, and the previous couple of episodes, we've done a lot of work to try and make this area being the entire map, more or less, as bad tide proof as we can. And there's still a little bit more that we can do based on your suggestions. So I'd like to, if it's possible, today do as much of that as we can. And one of the more interesting ideas that a bunch of you suggested in the comments was to essentially take some of these blockages out and put in a one-way valve with the help of some sluices so that we push extra water through these wheels instead of off the side of the map. Now, everything isn't connected end to end, but we do have right here this set of sluices, or this one sluice rather, that is taking these two sources, going down through our little pumping pool and then down into this other pumping pool. And right now, well, it's a drought, so right now there's nothing happening anyway, but we do have all of this extra water just wasting off the side of the map here, when all we'd have to do is put in a single sluice probably right here, and that would do two things. One, it would put the extra water through this side, coming through these instead of wasting off the end here, and keeping this area just a little bit cleaner. And two, that would be a one-way valve preventing any of this bad water from coming back here and giving us maybe just a few more tiles we could actually build on until we can take care of properly diverting all of this bad water. So, we have 10 days, and I think this is probably going to be the best possible thing we could be doing with that time, since we don't really need to worry about food or water. Those are pretty well in hand. So, if I put a sluice, first we have to make sure we know exactly where this bad water is going to be coming down. It's going to come down to here, then it's going to come down to here. So, we can kind of cut this off with just a touch by putting a single sluice gate right here. That's the only thing that has to go there. And then putting in two more levees, which is going to keep... We have three here, technically three, but this one's got blockages on it. Point being, it's going to be a lot of land that isn't going to have bad water on it. And we do have the materials to build all of this. So I think that's going to be one of the best things that we can do. It's going to shove more stuff through here. Once this is taken care of, we can start removing these blockages as well. And that should not be an issue whatsoever. We just need to make sure that we're keeping on top of it. So that'll give them something to do for a little bit of time. We also have the ability, if we're smart about it as we continue working through things, to kind of create a channel through here so that all of the extra water, if we're really, really careful, can come through this entire thing and get shoved through these water wheels. Now, of course, in due time, we can continue clearing this area out when we get explosives, which hopefully can be sometime soon-ish. We can dynamite this, make it a little bit straighter, put a whole bunch more water wheels in here, engineer some sort of other solution for that so we're not polluting everything so severely. And I think that's going to be a good idea, but we do, of course, have to get there in due time. So I have 370 science. We have the ability to unlock the explosives factory at 400 science. And we're not that far away from being able to just build this, although we will need to make a little bit more in the way of metal blocks and gears for that to happen. If we have explosives, then that's going to go a very long way to making this middle section a lot more usable. We've got some land here that can be detonated. We've got some land, not necessarily in this middle column without being careful about how we do stuff, but it's going to be a whole lot easier for us to actually utilize this space a little bit more effectively and make it so that we can grow more stuff, have slightly better layouts for things, and so on and so forth, like over here. And then also, of course, at the top, when we get over to this. I've been trying to get over here to get these birch trees out so we can utilize this land, because this is all going to be a lot easier to keep up with. But you know how it goes. We have to be able to actually get the beavers there from the side or from beneath. You can't just drop them down into a tile with nowhere for them to land. So that is one of those things that's going to take time. We also have this floodgate here that should be replaced. I have not forgotten about that. But before we do that, I guess I can put this on triple speed so we're in the middle of the night, not having to wait on anything. We got at least one comment that said we should move the sluices down one more block so that we're not shoving all the clean water off the side of the map. And while that is a good idea, I'm going to tell you why I'm not going to do it. If we peel this back, you look down in here, and the way this currently is we have these two water sources on this level, one below here. If I were to put the sluice on the same level as the sources, and we have a bad tide, then this is always going to have bad water in it, and it's going to be leaking through, possibly. Because it all has to travel up. But if I keep the level one level higher, by the time this actually gets back up to here, and it's polluted, it's already going to be too concentrated for these to open, and it's just going to go off the back side of the map there. So, I hear you. There's a scenario in which that probably does make sense, but for how this is set up right now, I don't think it's worth deconstructing to put that in place. I also don't think it's worth, and we talked about this last episode, but just as a refresher, I don't think it's worth trying to put in the impermeable floors down here. One, because this is not completely level, and it doesn't really serve a purpose anyway because this is already dirt. So any contamination is still going to be communicated by that, and until we're able to, you know, just do something else with these irrigation barriers and all that, it's probably not worth messing with. But it is going to be worth taking this floodgate out and putting in a sluice. I don't think at this exact moment that's the best possible thing we could be doing with our resources and our time. But I will go ahead and do it because I know if I don't, it's going to be a bad, bad, bad time. So, we'll just get that out of the way. Make sure this is set the same. We just want it to be closing above contamination of 1%. And that is going to be that. We also want to be rotating our beavers through these foresters so we can have everything replanted. Most of this stuff is already kind of taken care of, but you can see there's various spots that do need to be replanted. And since we are at the start of a drought now, we don't need to have so many beavers running around doing pumping, which we already took care of at the end of the last episode. But it's always possible to miss things. Like right here, this deep bad water pump, there's nothing here. So get out of there, go do something else. And I just so happen to have 3 extra beavers right now. But it's fine. I'm going to get that taken care of. So this sluice is ready to go. I don't really need to ever have this set to close, because a sluice is a one-way valve and it's fine. So as long as this is not going to have a way to flow out of here forever, then it's going to be okay. And I think we can kind of solve this problem in a simple way by just not putting another sluice here, but putting another floodgate at a choke point so that this always has a minimum level before it flows through this way out the sluice. That's the one-way check valve. I hope that makes sense. It makes sense in my head, and I think it's going to be fine. But for right now, this does still have some water in it, and this is helping things be irrigated here. Moving this check valve to this point maybe is going to make it possible for us to grow some more stuff over here. We'll see. But I don't think I want to mess with this anymore at this exact moment in time because we have other things that we probably should be taking care of. This area here is also all the way down because I think putting the sluice here that's always set to open, or not always set to open, but it's set to automatically open until this is maintained at 0.9, may have been a mistake. This probably should have been set slightly lower to maybe, let's say, just to keep this thing irrigated. Let's try 0.3. Maybe it would buy us a little bit more time. It's not the end of the world. It's okay. And we are eventually going to be, you know, making improvements over here, increasing the height and everything. But we have a long way to go before that is going to be that much of a difference maker. So, we do have raw cassava storage here. I have some raw cassava storage. There we go. You have to put the emphasis on the wrong syllables or else everything's going to go poorly. I had thought about maybe changing this over to something else, but I do think it's still nice to have all the ingredients in this area here. Even if we have the fermented cassava storage all the way full up, we can just keep putting the raw stuff over here. I did see somebody leave a comment saying I should stack another storage warehouse on top of this, but the amount of stairs and platforms and stuff that I have to build to get up there probably doesn't make sense at this exact moment in time. However, we do have, if we're able to get explosives put in, the ability to start removing some of this land, make this a little bit more conducive to accessibility, and then that makes it easier in due time. But we have to have somewhere for this to make sense. We have to have somewhere to put the explosives factory, which we currently do not. At least not up here. And I had said that I'd wanted to get the bad water processing going. I mean, there's multiple things we can do with explosives that aren't, you know, terraforming also. Don't forget that that is a major component in the bad water discharge to make this a permanent thing. And we can also make extract so that we can get into some other things and then get the advanced breeding pods going at some point as well. But before things get too crazy, we do need to check and make sure that we don't have these pine trees marked for cutting, which we do. So let's just really quickly take that out. I might leave a couple of them cuttable, but one of the reasons I planted these was so that we could have pine resin when the time comes, because, well, pine resin is the thing that we have to make the tree of planks, which is what we have to make spiral staircases and all sorts of other fun buildings. So we're going to need the tapper shack, and it's going to have somewhere to go. And that's one of those things we could, you know, we could just shoehorn it in somewhere in here. It's not going to be that big of a deal. But if we were cutting these pine trees down for no reason other than to just have wood, which honestly we've got plenty, that would be a problem. So just baby steps, one piece at a time, you know how it goes. That is why we're doing what we're doing the way we're doing it. So let's get these guys through the rest of this night here. And I think since we're starting to build these levees here, this is going to be a thing where we can start putting some other buildings on top of stuff here. And I know I just put a gear storage here. We probably don't really need that to be right there. But I do need storage for gears somewhere. I think what's going to make sense now for us to continue utilizing some of this stuff is to put platforms here. Not levees, because we don't want water to be flowing through this. But I could actually put our explosives factory right here, have it be close to the deep bad water pump and the bad water storage, everything. I would just need to move this small warehouse for storing gears to be somewhere else. And again, we don't really have a lot of great places to put things. We do have places to put things, but they're just not super great. So I'm going to move this to be here. We'll just take that out and we'll start putting the rest of this in. We do need to continue making supplies like the metal blocks. So since I've got all these extra beavers, let's put 2 more in the power wheel. We're going to have maybe about 315, 320, because it does scale based on their well-being, specifically their movement speed, which I guess also helps the well-being, so I misspoke there. But let's see what this turns into. It's already at 237. Yeah, otherwise that would be 225. We need to get going on making some more stuff, and I've got the 2 in here. I've got this going. Did we really go through all those berries just like that? That may be something we want to keep an eye on. I know I've got 3 of these. There it is. I got 3 of these, and I probably should be doing slightly better than that. Yeah, there we go, 315. We've got the corn. I want to make sure I can power this at 100%, which that is about as good as we're going to get. I'm going to move somebody into the food factory. And I think it should... okay, it's 98%. I can live with the 98%. We want to make sure we're doing what we can. And I'm going to have to run this industrial lumber mill and the gear workshop at some point. But I want to get ahead of the food before it becomes a problem. That's up to 54. I really need storage for corn-related stuff, and that's going to be a thing until we can kind of tame our landscape a little bit. I don't need a beaver in here. I don't need this to be constantly going. I should get that filled up a little bit more. How much did I need to make this? 30. Okay, yeah. So this is empty, yes? Okay, good. And I know we're kind of out of planks, but I'm going to get this popped in here first so that they can start putting those materials in. Should not be an issue. Get that beaver out of there and get them in here in the industrial lumber mill. And I might as well just turn all of these on. Supply is 315, demands 275. When this is all running together, it should be about... Yeah, okay, because this gear workshop's not running, and that's going to take 120. So this is... Anyway, 80% sounds fine for right now. We'll get there. Baby steps. Okay, that's a little bit more full. Water, again, is not an issue now. It's just a problem of how are we going to handle everything. So that's put in place. That's done. Anything else that I could take beavers out of to try and get some more back? Doesn't look like it. Beaver storage. I'm glad you guys continue to enjoy that one. Beaver storage is looking okay. Although it's going to be another one of those things we can fix slowly in due time. Yeah, let's just get this running for a little bit. I do still want to do stuff over here. I know that's something we've discussed multiple times. But we will get there when we get there. And I still don't really think this is worth messing with too much right now until we fundamentally redesign everything. Just got to be able to do what we can do. Run these things through here. Probably going to want to put another industrial lumber mill down here. We're going to want to put in additional water wheels when we can. Which is part of the reason why I have these guys taking these ruins out of here. Because, well, that's a very, very, very long process. But I think there is a scenario, depending on how I want to do this, where I can get them to remove this piece of ruins right here and then put in more of these. I could put one here, but right now this has no way to connect, and I have no way to get over here to build it without removing this gear workshop, which I guess it doesn't really matter if I did. But I'd like to go about things the right way if I can. And I don't have a good way to get over here. So much scrap metal that is honestly kind of in the way in a frustrating fashion. But what can you do? I think, yeah, we got 6.5 days. I'm not going to worry about it yet, but I do still want to put a floodgate somewhere over here so we can keep this filled up. We can continue... They can reach this. I'll just put a levee here, and then I can start migrating these things. I'll leave this floodgate here, but I think this could be set at 1.0, so it becomes less of an issue. Long term, that should be okay. Yeah, getting the metal blocks up above 30 would be great, because of course there's other things we could do with those. Yeah, the berries are going to be a problem. But if we have all this stuff diverted, or at least diverted satisfactorily enough, then I think we can start expanding our blueberry planting. In fact, what I'm going to do is take these trees out here, and we can plant those as berry bushes once these get harvested. Now that we have so many more trees growing everywhere else. It's still going to take a little bit of time. This is still going to be dead about every other cycle or so. But we'll take care of that in due time. Still making some good science, which is good. We are going to get into number crunchers at some point, but remember that's 100 gears that we could probably much better spend on almost anything else at the time being. So let's see, we've got this. Probably is not a bad idea to go ahead and make some arrangements for explosive storage once those get made, because I think this only holds like 5 in the output. So even just a small warehouse, that's somewhere for those to go, even if it doesn't make a ton of sense where we end up putting it. It's just a good idea to have that ready to go. Let's put another small warehouse in here, just in preparation. And I should have one for pine resin, even if we can't pull it out of the trees yet. We're going to get at 500, I think it's 500 science to get this. Yeah. We'll be there before you know it, and we already have some ready to go here. Just keep our eyes peeled for that. What a horrifying thing to imagine, peeling eyes. But I digress. Metal blocks haven't gone up very much, have they? Hey, and we're getting mangrove fruit still, which is good. I wonder if now is the time, one, to pause that. Because people keep asking me to do this. So I feel like, yeah, I know this is a really stupid layout for this, but we might as well go ahead and put the stairs in place so that we can plant these mangrove trees in here. Just make use of the space we have, because something I keep saying is important, so I might as well, you know, actually do it. I'm going to go ahead and pause this forester here, get us another beaver. I do have that fully up, and I should probably get these guys in these lumberjack flags and make good use of the labor while I've got it before we have to do something else. Yeah, I just need them to do more plank stuff. I probably can get away with making this into scrap metal storage. If we're actually going to be using the metal blocks, then it's, you know, better to be able to take more of this out so we can make better use of all of this space. If I'm going to have them take these ruins out, then I'm going to have this be the closest option. But there's so much of the rest of this absolutely everywhere. Not really a lot of options. They can't even get to this unless I put... I'd have to take this blockage out, and then I'd have to put stairs right here. And then I'd have to get... Yeah, because they can't walk through this to get somewhere on a path. I mean, I guess they could maybe, but... They're going to pull back whatever is closest to them, so I have to get this, I have to basically be down in here. I should have done this a long time ago, but... Tell you what, we got another 5.7 days. We might as well just get this put in place. Make sure they can actually walk through everything. Yeah, because I'm really... Also, it's going to help us put in wheels here. I really want to make sure this is as put together, established, so on and so forth, as it can be before things get super crazy stupid in here. Okay, so they built that through the gaps in all this garbage. Yeah, we just have to wait for that. Okay, so somebody... Oh, they were hiding behind here. Okay, we'll carry on. Let's just get this thing going, folks. And there we go. Alright, so put the stairs there. That problem should take care of itself. Once they can get around to building this, I'll just give that a boost. Yeah, so things are working out pretty well here. Just need to make some more gears. This shouldn't be an issue there. I guess if I'm already going to have these guys in here ready to go, then I might as well, before I put these wheels in, figure out what else is going to go in here. I think the outflow through a 2-wide channel should be enough. If not, then, well, we can figure that out when we get to it. I hate to just dump levees in a place where they're not going to actually do too much, but we're going to want it to be forced through here as much as we can. So putting those two in there, and then just because I have to have something here, in theory, and this is a building that we do need to be able to use, I guess I'll just put an industrial lumber mill in here. And then figure out a way to get beavers through here. I might just turn this into a bridge straight the way across. These 4 water wheels, even without having extra water come through here, should add up to about 500-ish, maybe a little bit less. We will see. We will see what happens. We got some time to get this stuff all figured out, so we'll let them do that. Let's see. I don't need to make any more scrap metal at this time. So let's turn the fermenter, and I might be able to run the food factory too. Let's check. Okay, not quite. But I really don't want to run out of fermented cassava because that is a bad thing waiting to happen. That should be okay there. Predictably, they have not done anything with these stairs yet because I've been focusing my resources on getting this in place. But getting this ready to go, just as soon as we're able to do something with it, I think is going to be a very, very smart idea. Got somebody in here. This is the closest one. They've already taken 5 out. That is very good to see. Working slowly on the rest of that. No storage for mangrove fruits yet either, which means I probably should put something in somewhere, provided I can actually find somewhere for that to go. Yeah, unfortunately the name of the game at this point is just shove something anywhere you possibly can, and that's just the way it goes. So I don't have any other storage really. Corn rations could use a little tiny one, even though it's kind of far away. It's working okay. Guess I shouldn't really complain, considering how almost everything else we're doing is going just splendidly well. Okay, we're making our way for the stairs here. And then I am going to have this forester manned, but we don't have anybody in here yet. Okay, well, let's do that. Take that lumberjack flag out. Get this planted at the very least. They are going to take care of these, which, you know, that's fine. It is what it is. Food's looking a little bit better. I don't need both of these guys, the fermenters, for the cassava anymore. Turn that food factory on. Try to do as much as we can while we can. Okay, that's working down to 15. We got 3 days left. If I'm able to get the rest of this stuff built before the bad water comes back in, I think we're going to be in really good shape. Really, really good shape. Anyway, so this is done. This can be paused. We don't need anybody in there if they can't do anything. I guess I'm going to have to leave these things operating still, because that's just something that makes sense. But I've got this thing loaded up with bad water, which is good. And I do have a storage available here for explosives ready to go. Yeah, so that's done. Just as soon as this scrap metal is out, I think I should still be able to do this in 2 days if they can take care of this. So you know what I forgot I can do is I can just put another scavenger flag down here. They'll do it twice as fast. What a concept, huh? Yeah, so just get somebody in here plugging away, and folks, this will be ready to go before 2 days are up. Okay, so that's done. They can build... Probably not build this if I have a compact water wheel in the way, but we're not looking too bad here, not looking too shabby. Let's actually pause that one so we can get a beaver back, because I do want them to be able to do as much as possible. So that's going to be done pretty soon. It's not going to be that big of a deal if I can't get everything quite finished, but if I have this done and I have a wheel here, then everything is going to be connected and we're going to have that much more to play with. Okay. So just about done. Alright, that is finished. Let's put in water wheel here. And that only needs 5 out of there. And these two might be able to take care of that today. I don't know. You know, they can only one can work on one thing at a time. The idea behind putting this other guy over here is that if this guy ends up leaving, then this opens up for that to be a thing you can take care of. Don't need anybody in here, obviously, because they can't get to it. But we don't have to have this clean for us to be able to walk through here, or walk over here, rather. But I do need, before things get super crazy, to be able to take these out so the excess can flow through here. I don't have to have it anything else besides the check valve unless we have another drought coming in through here. Because if the... well, you can't see it because it's underneath this, but if the water level on this side is high enough, then it's not going to matter what's behind here because it's not going to want to let everything... I hope that makes sense. Even if I don't have the that one setting turned on for minimum water level on this side, is just... I really hope you can understand what I'm trying to say because I don't think I'm communicating it very well. 2 scrap metal there. It's fine. Yeah, they'll have that out of here soon enough. Food's actually starting to look a lot better now that I've got storage for the corn rations and the mangrove fruits. I don't have storage for kohlrabis, really? Well, we aren't really growing enough of those for that to be an issue. Well, there's no reason not to have something available for those. Just put that in so we have that going on. Did they ever plant? They did. They did. Let's take that beaver out of there. We got a lot of oaks ready for the cutting over here. Don't really have anywhere for them to go. The scrap metal is really not a great place for that, but honestly, we just need to have more storage for stuff. I know, yeah, Captain Obvious, right? Oh, hey, this is done. Good. Let's pause both of these. Get this stuff pulled out. Then we can get rid of that. I know we do still have this down here that has not been removed. And that is something we can work toward in the future, but right now I really want to get these two things done. Yeah, I'll let them pull this out, but I'll take this one away. We can leave this scavenger flag here for a future drought where we can send somebody back in, but that should be okay. Let's leave this to be what it's going to be. Do I want to put another... Well, I said I was going to do it, so I might as well. They should be able to have this not be a problem. I'm going to put this at... let's just say 0.7 seems like a good height. Again, this is so that this area never empties too much to service this check valve here. I hope that makes sense. Almost at 300 science here. Really could use some more water storage. But I need to get more gears going, which is, you know, it's one of the reasons why this is a thing that's so important, so we can have access to all of that. That's got 20 out of 25. I got a whole day and a half to build that one too, so I guess I don't really have a reason to be upset about any of the rest of this. Not really happy with this either. We'll get there. We'll get that figured out. In terms of more food storage. Yeah, a lot of this is going to get solved, or at least significantly boosted by the addition of dynamite being able to create a little bit more space. Especially because this is always going to be only clean water here. Yeah, until I have overhangs really readily available, I shouldn't be doing too much else here. But I think I can. Yeah, I should have enough clearance to put another tank here if I put in a platform here and then put in platforms here. Because if I do, just for the sake of checking, let's just do this real quick. Yeah. That'll fit. I just right now don't have another bypass for this, so I do have to have that taken care of. Some more stuff for them to work on. Okay, that's done. That's good. They shouldn't have a problem doing that in one day. Let's get this on triple speed. And move on from there. Need to do something else about all this, too. And I know we already talked about this is not going to be polluted because there's no way the bad water can get in here. It's just polluted now because, well, the land is directly connected to all of this. Eventually, irrigation barriers should help substantially with all of that. And that's not even close to the list. It's fine. Yeah, that's going to be done lickety-split. No issues there. Water's still looking good. This is probably the next thing they're going to build, if I remembered correctly. Okay, we're not going to need to have anybody coming down in here, but I'm not going to remove the stairs, because that ends up somehow causing more problems than it solves. And that's fine. Yep, they're working on this, and that is not something that absolutely needed to be done, but that's fine. That's set to 0.9. That's set to 0.9. That's set to 0.9. There we go, folks. That should being the operative term, take care of just about everything we're trying to do. So cycle 14 begins. Let's get some beavers in these pumps so that we can, well, pump as much as we can. It's so nice having 30 beavers, 28 of them being employable. And we're about to get a lot of stuff coming through here, and it should make a pretty nice amount of power. So, I know we need to do something about that up here as well, but eventually this is all going to be connected. That is my my goal for this at the very least. So let's get this going. Should, in just a moment... Well, hopefully. I guess this has to get substantially higher again. Alright. Now it's making enough for us to start taking this down. I'm going to go back down to 2 beavers. Food-wise, this is full. I'm going to pause, and I know we need other big storage for things. We'll get there. Slowly trying to get these guys out of there. Ah! I forgot about having to do this. So let's avoid a flood just by, you know, fixing this real quick. Get somebody in there to take care of all of that. This is set to 0.9. And that's set to automatically close. That should overflow in due time. This problem will solve itself momentarily. There we go. And now before this comes through all the way here, this is making only 32, but it hasn't quite gotten its full volume going here. This is still kind of a thing. And I think now we should see this start skyrocketing. Up, here we go. Yeah. And no overflowing either. Somehow. Looks like a very healthy 547. So let's get, while we can, let's get a beaver in here in the explosives factory. And then, they obviously can't get into that, but we'll do this gear workshop as well. Just start making as much of that as we possibly can. Get this water brought back up. This needs to be refilled. Might as well do this while we're at it. And what else? What else can I get away with here? Still got the 3 in there. That's probably fine. Uh-oh. Now I need more beaver storage. Yeah, that's going to be probably a job for somewhere over here. When we get there. Just so much scrap metal. Absolutely everywhere. Probably going to need to start building over some of this area. I guess this is fine as it is. It doesn't really look like this is diluting very much, but the extra power absolutely, I can promise you, is making a difference here. So that's looking good. Did we actually make any explosives yet? No, we did not. So we should probably start looking for things to blow up. I know we've talked a little bit about some of this. But there are some areas where it is going to be just brutally obvious what is and is not going to be a good use of our explosives. Obviously we need to have storage available, and that's important. But we probably should be trying to find spaces that we can straighten paths, or we can create easy advantageous terrain modification. Like right here, if we just take these couple of terrain pieces out, then that's really going to open up a lot more plantable space and make it so that when we have bad tides come in, we can sacrifice some of this ground space for irrigation blocking without losing actual plantable area. So we'll get there. We do have to unlock the dynamite, and that's not science that we have. I do think that the 500 science when we get there is going to be the most important thing to get access to all of this stuff here, which also has to have somewhere to go. And I guess I can empty these tanks, and this right here would be the most advantageous spot, in my opinion, for a tapper shack, so we're not actually taking up that much space. We'll let them take care of what they need to take care of. Now, where have all the explosives been going? If they haven't actually been exploding anything, or are they really seriously still trying to make that first one? Okay, well, I guess that's fine. Yeah, gears are good. Scrap metal still needs to be scrap metaled. That's, yep, that's nice and full. No complaints there. Nobody's grinding away at science right now because I have too many beavers working too many jobs. So maybe we should do something about that. I don't have anybody down here. How close are these? 88%. Take somebody out of that lumberjack flag. That's fine. I really should be having somebody pump more of that, so I guess that is something that needs to be a priority. What about up here? Is there anything else I can pause? No, that's fine. That's fine. I don't really need to have too many people doing... Let's just check here. Okay, I've got 2 of these operating. This one, and then... Okay, this one doesn't need to be doing anything here. Let's just pause that. Okay, so I should have at least 1 beaver in here doing inventing, which I do. That does not need to be on. Neither does that. So now we should have everybody doing everything. Okay, and I'm not going to need to have beavers running around this thing. So I'm going to take one of those out. I guess I'll start the food factory again. We'll see if that lines up with... well, I would consider that to be a tolerable offset. Yep, just really need to get water. Well, I just wanted to have this turned on so we could get these a little bit more full. Although it looks like... Okay, corn rations are full. Never mind. Never mind. I suppose now is a good time to just get more beavers in the water pumps. Then once I get my 500 science, then I can pop this thing right here. Assuming it has clearance. Oh, it does. Good. Can't forget when these get pulled out, we need to put in blueberry bushes there. But this seems to be looking pretty good. Have to remember that I do not want to send beavers in here until it's a drought. But I do want to be able to get across here at some point so I can have more in the lumber mills. So that's looking okay. This is all looking fine. We've already established that this is okay. See, I've got space up here. I honestly probably should be growing stuff in, but I don't want to have that be too much of a problem. Well, it's nighttime again, just let them do what they gotta do. Interested to see how long of a temperate cycle we're gonna have here. Because at this point, the temperate cycle is almost more about managing good access to power generation than it is actually getting water, because now we've got plenty of that. Okay. Still looking alright. But I don't have my 500 science yet. I really do... Oh, that's why, because I got four job vacancies. Is there anything else I can pause right now? I don't know that I really can. I also really want to get these guys pumping as much as possible. Well, I mean, I can't use the explosives right now, but this is the best time to actually, you know, make use of that because, well, I have free power. Ah, there's no available workers. Okay, so this is the first one that they decided they didn't need to staff. I guess I can't be too mad about that because that is a very high chance of injury. Yep. See, this is why I need more beaver storage, so I can justify having more of those guys. And I know there's a substantial portion of you that think I should just raise the well-being instead. Well, it's not that simple. Because crops are the easiest way to do that in a normal playthrough, but in this one we don't have the terrain to be doing too much of that. Probably could put a campfire in if we had a spot for it, and then aesthetics all take science, which is still in short supply. And I don't really have anything else that's free, and the shrub is like barely even helps. Yeah, I'm going to choose not to get caught up with that again. Engine, yes, that's a thing that we can do. It's not the most important thing because it's 400 science to unlock that, and I'd rather have the stuff to make these woodwork shops. I just need my 500 science so I can get that tapper shack. But it's not going to happen if I don't have enough beavers. Why am I like this? Well, for where we are now, I guess I can just pause those two, and that's... I know I hate to waste all of this, but... We can never pass up an opportunity to have plenty of clean water. I think that is something, the importance of which cannot be overstated. There we go. Now I got somebody doing some sort of science. Anything else I can pause? I don't want to pause the gatherer flag, and this is going to be in the next couple of days. Harvestable there, that's fine. Want to make sure we're harvesting bad water also. Yep. Hate to say it, but it's probably just a whole bunch of hurry up and wait now. Our favorite game. Okay, and there's that drought warning on day 4. So we got day 4, day 5, and day 6. And then at the end of that, we can actually come back down in here, which is good. But that does mean that now we do need to seriously consider getting the engine put in place. So let's actually slow this down again. Take a look at these requirements. I have the gears to make an engine. I do not have the metal. But we have plenty of wood at this point, I think, to justify having one. And I think, at least for the time being, we could count on replacing this large power wheel with a steam engine. I always forgot they renamed these things. So, what that means to me in the next 2.7 days is we got to get that smelter turned back on. I've already built my tank for the stuff that's going to need those gears, so I guess I can pause that. And if I pause this industrial lumber mill, then that gives me some extra beavers to take care of some things. I really want to make sure that I've got my smelter going, and I should also get my food factory operating a little bit better. Excuse me. So that takes care of most of that. I know we're still at minus whatever. I also, you know, I haven't forgotten that this still cost 400 science to get unlocked. And I hate, after all of this, I hate to spend that 400 science on an engine instead of getting these pines and the resin and everything out. But that does seem like it's going to make a little bit more sense. I think that's going to have to be what we end up doing here. Yeah, it's going to free up so much labor not having to worry about this. Also, these make 400 HP, and this can only ever make 300. I guess technically like 320, 330 if we had everybody in there. So, it is what it is. Just have to have the metal blocks. That is 20 of those. Not going to get any if I take this power wheel out, but that's the way it goes. I guess I could go ahead and pause the food factory. Just let that be what it's going to be. Make sure that's 100%. Yep, that's about as good as we're going to get. Okay. Well, much rather have a drought than a bad tide, because that does give us continual options to take care of more of this stuff, and we probably should be taking these blockages out also. I'm not stupid enough to do that right now. So we'll wait on that. This is looking okay. Water storage continues to be fine. So, yeah, this is just a slow process making metal blocks, because I don't have the scrap metal being ferried up here. I probably should have prioritized it by the haulers, but it's fine. 1 point something days. Is it? Yeah, I don't even have the stuff in here. I should have checked that box a long time ago. I'm gonna need to start building that engine before we get finished here. Okay, well, at least there's scrap metal in place. I don't think... Yeah, you can't make 10 in one day. Just because it's 2 hours no matter what. Alright, let's pause this fermenter. Let's take out the power wheel. And... See, that is a levee, that's platform, it's fine. Let's have them come and grab up all this stuff. Then I am going to... I guess it doesn't really matter. It shouldn't put it somewhere inaccessible, but these things never play right with me, and it ends up being a huge pain in the butt, so it's fine. You win. I will use my science on this instead of literally anything else. Don't... I hate it when it does this. It puts it in the most inaccessible spot. Okay, that's fine. We'll just do that. Well, if this then becomes the priority instead of this stuff getting picked up off the ground, then we might actually get this done before the end of something. I do have my 4 beavers taking care of that. I know now I finally have enough science to unlock the thing I said I was going to, and then I didn't, but it's fine. This is not going to have any power down here, so I am going to turn this explosives factory back on just for the rest of today, because, well, we're not going to be able to use this unless I built something else down here, and I don't have the resources right now to have the power go all the way up here, but it would not be that difficult for us to just put vertical power shafts coming all the way through here, and then up into something. But it's probably going to end up being one of those situations where it comes up this side. When we get around to that point, remember each of the vertical power shafts does have to have a gear. And gears are just a little bit hard to come by right now. It's getting better. So let's get these things topped up before that becomes a problem. Plenty of trees available for cutting here, but they really should be replanted. Because right now this is plenty of wood, but these do take 30 days to regrow. I just need more beavers. I'm so used to playing with like 150 where I don't even have to worry about labor at all. Now I've got a lot of injuries too, so I do need to keep that in mind. I need to put in medical beds somewhere, so actually, you know what? Right here would be a great place to put a pile for some logs. That's probably a better way to utilize the space. We'll put that in there. Okay, well, it looks like my biggest concern was metal blocks going to be a viable thing. And I think that's going to justify extending working hours just a touch here. Because I've got 7, and I've got 10 already. There may or may not be 1 in transit. But since I took out the beard wheel, which I'd never put that thing up on the screen, I'm never going to remember to do it. But I took that thing out, which means as soon as this drought starts, we're not going to have any power going into this thing. So, and it's already going down. Already going down. I got 17 here. Is there anything else I can pause, or is this just... Yeah, see, it's already becoming a problem. At 18... Got nobody in here working. Let's go. Let's go, man. Come on. You are cramping our style collectively and causing suffering for the future generations. This is really what's going to happen here, isn't it? I'm not going to have... seriously, you could not the entire other half of the day, you could not come in here for a measly 4 hours and do any of this? Not even a tiny bit. Now I am screwed. I don't have any ability to get more metal. And this is so close. The only other thing I could do is put this thing back in, but I can't even get this connected because I don't have any way to... Ugh. And this isn't going to work either. The only other thing I could do would be to get rid of this bad water pump and get a couple pieces of metal out of that. Which, you know, during a drought, there isn't any of this that I can actually do anything with, so... If I don't change this to 2.0 instead of 1.9, then I know I'm going to have problems. But also, you know how this goes. I don't think we really need to be that concerned about it. So, that really sucks. Not going to lie, I'm pretty irritated about that. So, I'm just going to preemptively yeet that, delete that, and just force them to pick that garbage up off the ground and finish this. Okay, what is flooded? Okay, these things, that's fine. We'll be alright. Not the end of the world. Just get the rest of this through here, put this back down to 18 hours like a normal non-psychopath here. Okay. How many days of drought? 14. 14 days of drought. That's, yeah, it's fine. Let's hit pause on that. I got 3,000 water stored, which is fantastic. I am very pleased with that. Let's get these guys out of the water pumps here. And that, folks, is going to, assuming we can actually get them to finish this stupid thing, make it possible for us to run a whole lot of this. Which means I can have that. That's 120. That's going to be about 195. That's going to be, let's just call it 200. That's going to be about 250. This makes 400. And this right here takes 400. So we may need to rotate back and forth which of these are actually going to get used, but I do need to be basically making metal forever. So they still are not going to bring that metal up there. Are you serious? Come on, man. Figure your life out. Well, is what it is. I presently cannot get into any of this if these scavenger flags are here. Doesn't really matter. I need to decide, because I'm probably going to end up putting in these wheels on this side anyway. I don't think I want a 3-wide exit. I think 2 is fine. So if I take this out instead of this one, then I could just have this force through here, but I can't build anything on top of this. Not that it really matters, because it can't go across there anyway. But that would be a good opportunity for the stuff to go vertical. So what I'm going to end up doing is taking both of these blockages out. I think I'll leave this one in place, but this is going to force this to kind of jog up through here. I can put in a levee here, and then slowly, as we're able to make some gears, we'll just go straight the way up. I could bring this up to here, which would actually be a great little isolated area for us to put some more industrial pro. Why in the world have you not finished this yet? Figure it out, dude. the entire everything is waiting on somebody to bring this one stupid metal block in place. There you go. Good job. Let's get that prioritized. And then we can start working on that. They're already in the process of doing this. I am going to end this episode here in just a little bit. But I really wanted to make sure we got this taken care of before it became an issue because, well, you know how this goes. So that is going to be able to be built from... Actually, that one's going to have to get done first, but we'll put a wheel here, and then the other one can go in there. That's going to be fine. I suppose might as well stick this here, and then if that's done, then the blockage can also be removed. Put some other buildings in here. Oh, so many things to take care of. So many, yeah, me too. So many things that have not been taken care of, but that's fine. I've got 7 extra beavers, because I don't have enough stuff that actually has continual power yet. So I guess now is probably a good time to just turn these foresters back on. Turn some of these lumberjack flags back on. This one probably does not matter. Is that even... Oh, nobody can even reach this to cut it down. Why am I like this? I guess I should relocate... Or maybe yeah, it's fine. We can leave these in reserve. It's not the end of the world. I guess I have so many extra beavers, I might as well turn that other farmhouse back on. Get that forester on. And then, that's not going to let me get to much of anywhere else, is it? No, we don't need to have that on. This is already set and ready to go. Yes, that's fine. Alright. Yeah, I think that's about all I can do with this one. So let's get them through the rest of the night here. I appreciate you guys watching these videos, giving some helpful feedback. I know I can't incorporate absolutely everything everybody wants me to. Just please do know that I do always read the comments. Even if I can't incorporate exactly what you're suggesting, I do appreciate the input. And at some point, I do hope to get around to as much of it as I can. Beard Boosters, of course, subsidize the channel so we don't have to have sponsors on any of these. We don't have to try to chase the algorithm. We don't try to, you know, create the most attention deficit optimized product possible, which, hey, you know, I end up watching a whole lot of that stuff anyway because that's the state of the internet we find ourselves in. But I don't have to make those videos because you find folks supporting the channel, making it so that we can just have fun playing games and, on average, for the most part, being a very positive and supportive community. So I do appreciate each and every one of you, even if you're not on the list of folks that you saw go up on the screen here. And whatever it is you're doing with the rest of your day, hope you stay safe, have fun, and we'll see each other again soon for more of this series. And yes, Project 1K is coming. It's going to take me like 40 or 50 hours to just do this last episode. It's incredibly slow, but it's coming. And in a couple weeks, we have full release 1.0, and I've got some cool stuff planned for that. So again, stay safe, have fun. We'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.